We all love a legendary comeback, and Degree Original Cool Rush is back and better than ever. Cool Rush isn't just a scent, it's a movement, a fan favorite that delivers bold, fresh vibes and all-day sweat protection. Whether you have a man that spends hours in the gym, heads into the office early, or is just trying to stay fresh on a long day, Cool Rush has their back. Head to your local Walmart or Target and grab Degree Cool Rush, the fan favorite scent from the world's #1 antiperspirant brand.
Have you ever noticed how a calm mind can really set the stage for a good night's sleep? That's the idea behind our new podcast, Good Sleep. Greg, our host from Optimal Relationships Daily, is here to help ease you into a peaceful night's rest with some positive affirmations. And these affirmations aren't just comforting, they can help ease anxiety and nurture positive thoughts, setting you up for true good sleep. So, press play on Good Sleep tonight because a good tomorrow starts with a good night's sleep. Just search for Good Sleep in your podcast app and be sure to pick the one from Optimal Living Daily. This is Optimal Health Daily, Bruce Lee Moment, and Move More, Die Less, both by Roger Lawson of rajlawfitness.com. And I'm Dr. Neil, your very own personal narrator. Hey there, welcome to another edition of Optimal Health Daily. This is one of just a few podcasts in the world where blogs are read to you. And on this show, you get the added bonus of hearing my commentary at the end. Oh, and another bonus, on Fridays, I answer your questions. Now today, I'm going to be reading 2 posts. I do that when both posts are a bit on the shorter side. I want to make sure I give you the content you expect every day. So with that, let's get right to both posts and start optimizing your life. Bruce Lee Moment by Roger Lawson of rajlawfitness.com. Most of us have weak links that are contained in one area of our lives, so as to not affect our daily lives. For instance, having horrible rhythm wouldn't hinder your efforts in becoming a movie critic, but if you dreamed of becoming the next Lord of the Dance, then that would be something you must fix before you could move forward. We've all heard that we are only as strong as our weakest link. But how many of us actually address it? Bruce Lee did. In December of 1964, a then 24-year-old Bruce Lee and another martial artist by the name of Wong Jack Man fought one another at Lee's Oakland, California Kung Fu School. What follows is Linda Lee Caldwell's, or Lee's widow's, account of how that fight changed Bruce Lee's life from her book, Bruce Lee, The Only Man I Knew. Quote, "The clash with Wong Jack Man metamorphosed his own personal expression of Kung Fu. Until this battle, he had largely been content to improvise and expand on his original Wing Chun style. But then he suddenly realized that, although he had won comparatively easily, his performance had been neither crisp nor efficient. The fight, he realized, ought to have ended within a few seconds of him striking the first blows, instead of which it had dragged on for 3 minutes. In addition, at the end, Bruce had felt unusually winded, which proved to him he was far from perfect condition. So, he began to dissect the fight, analyzing where he had gone wrong and seeking to find ways where he could have improved his performance. It did not take him long to realize that the basis of his fighting art, the Wing Chun style, was insufficient. It laid too much stress on hand techniques, had very few kicking techniques, and was essentially partial. The Wong Jack Man fight also caused Bruce to intensify his training methods. From that date, he began to seek out more and more sophisticated and exhaustive training methods. I shall try to explain these in greater detail later, but in general, the new forms of training meant that Bruce was always doing something, always training some part of his body or keeping it in condition." End quote. Many people go through life not addressing their weak points at all, letting them lag behind while continuing on with their life. But what if your weak link stood between you and your life's greatest ambitions? Bruce encountered such a challenge and succeeded with flying colors. Not only did he identify his weakest physical link, his overall conditioning, but he also came face to face with the limitations of his current way of approaching combat. The rest, as they say, is history. If it weren't for this fight that caused Bruce Lee to run smack dab into his weakest link, Jeet Kune Do may never have been created, and we may have been robbed of one of the most phenomenal human beings of our time. Move More, Die Less by Roger Lawson of rajlawfitness.com. A recent study out of Australia that can be found in the American Heart Association journal Circulation has released some pretty disturbing and shocking findings. According to the study's lead author, David Dunstan, just 1 hour of face-to-face time with the television carries an 18% increased risk of death from cardiovascular disease and an 11% increased risk of death from all causes. The study also found that watching more than 4 hours of television a day increased the likelihood of death from all causes by 46%, and cardiovascular disease in particular by a face-slapping 80%. And here's the kicker. The link between television and death still persisted even after factoring in diet and exercise as variables. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. I don't have access to the entire study. I have no idea how well it was put together, nor how valid these claims are, but I do know one thing. Sitting on your booty for upwards of 40 hours a week can't possibly be good for one's health. We are constantly being forced to do more and more with the same amount of time that we've always had, which usually means lots of sitting. When you think about it, most of us are simply moving from chair to chair throughout the day, from the chairs in our offices to the seats of our cars, right on home to log some more cushion time. The main takeaway point from this study isn't that television is the devil, but that we need to, as the great prophet Ned Flanders would say, stop being so gosh diddly darn inactive. As humans, we are designed for movement, and if we weren't, this is clearly backed up by endless hours of scientific research on the process of evolution, we would just be limbless, egg-shaped people with heads. Even then, we would be forced to roll around a lot to get to where we were going, and would probably be awesome breakdancers to boot. But I digress. Movement is crucial for our overall health, from the regulation of carbohydrate metabolism, the reduction of postural imbalances, muscle group and flexibility, and an entire host of other benefits that we may not even be aware of yet. Personal story time. I'm what you would call an FBJ, Facebook junkie, for those not in the know of my own ridiculous in-head language, to the point where if Facebook were crack and they were casting for a new Jack City remake, I'd be their Pookie. I took the leap and deactivated it for a couple of months, which drastically reduced my internet sitting time. So now all of a sudden, I have more time for walks, rock climbing, archery, and moto surfing. So here is my challenge to you. Take a look at your life and identify one cheek-to-cushion vice of yours. After doing that, explore your options and see how you can turn it into something more active. Or better yet, substitute an hour of that activity out for something more movement-based. For instance, if you like watching television, at the very least, stand up and move around every now and then while doing so. An even more awesome idea is to do some jumping jacks, push-ups, or a wide variety of other exercises during the commercial breaks. Although my favorite is to act out a scene from the movie you're watching, like Enter the Dragon, Weekend at Bernie's, and Flashdance. Those are particularly dope. If you take the findings of this study to its extreme conclusion, between American Idol, YouTube, and World of Warcraft, we are all going to die. But it doesn't have to be that way at all. As long as you have at least one functioning limb, there are always options for movement, even during a busy work schedule. Take, for instance, my friend Josie, who, instead of sitting down all day while on the job, took to the stairwell throughout the day to repeatedly show them who the boss was. You just listened to the posts titled Bruce Lee Moment and Move More, Die Less, both by Roger Lawson of rajlawfitness.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. Right now, there's a talented person out there who could take your company to the next level. Do you want to hope they see your job post before your competitors? Or do you want to match with them with Indeed sponsored jobs? Stop struggling to get your job post even seen on other sites. Give your job the best chance to be seen with Indeed sponsored jobs. When I was looking to hire, it was so slow and overwhelming. I wish I had used Indeed. Spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results now with Indeed sponsored jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/health. Just go to Indeed.com/health right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/health. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Do it the right way with Indeed.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
Dr. Neil here with my commentary. I want to go back to Roger's first post, Bruce Lee moment. Well, for one, Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, is still one of my favorite movies, and this post brought back fond memories of that movie. But here's what Roger said that really stood out to me. He said that many people go through life not addressing their weak points, letting them lag behind while continuing on with their life. This reminded me of a quote that I once heard from psychologist Anders Ericsson. Dr. Ericsson dedicated his career to studying human performance and how we develop expertise. Bruce Lee is a great example of top human performance and expertise, which is why, of course, this quote came to mind. Here's what Dr. Ericsson said. Quote, "We seldom push to go beyond good enough. We do very little that challenges our brains, and for the most part, that's okay. Good enough is generally good enough. But it's important to remember that the option exists. If you wish to become significantly better at something, you can. To make things possible that were not possible before, this requires challenging homeostasis, getting out of your comfort zone, and forcing your brain to adapt. But once you do this, learning is no longer just a way of fulfilling some genetic destiny. It becomes a way of taking control of your destiny and shaping your potentials in ways that you choose." End quote. So now the question is, how are you going to start taking control of your destiny? All right, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing the show with someone. That's one of the best ways to keep this show going. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And of course, I'll be back here tomorrow as usual. So I'll see you there where your optimal life awaits.